Folks, it's Fernando doing another video for the Modern Survivalist, and this is going to be a video about shotgun ammunition for home defense. Now, before I even get started with this, let me say that I believe that if you're looking to buy your first firearm for home defense for survival purposes, make that a Glock 9mm pistol. It's by far the one that's going to be more convenient for you, the one that's going to be carried if you ever need to do that. It's the one that you should be putting the most time and money into learning how to use proficiently. Now, I've seen people that are, somewhat knowledgeable regarding firearms, either gun store clerks or employees or even law enforcement officers, recommend the pump action shotgun as the gun to get for home defense. If you're looking to get your first gun, this would not be my advice. Simply because it requires, even though it's mechanically simple to operate and extremely reliable, it requires a certain amount of skill, so as to be proficient with it, that should be invested into learning how to use your handgun instead. Now, if you have your handgun and you're looking to get a long arm, a pump action shotgun is definitely a great way to go. It packs a lot of stopping power. It is very efficient for what it's intended to do in the right hands. So let's get to the point of this video, which is the types of ammunition available. Now, usually when it comes to handguns and rifles, there's not really a lot of debate. Most people will agree, for example, in 9mm that a jacket hollow point, light, fast, will give you the best stopping power. In terms of rifles, rifle ammunition pretty much has enough power that any good ammo that you put in it will get the job done as well. Now, with shotguns, you have such a wide variety of options, it sometimes gets a little bit confusing. Basically, you're looking at these three. You have your Birdshot, you have Buckshot. These are nice because they're translucent and you can actually see what it looks like on the inside. And you have your slugs, a big chunk of lead. Right now, if you're looking to keep things simple, just go with Buckshot. This is what traditionally works best for a home defense shotgun. This is usually what a police officer will have in his shotgun. Military, good old double-aught Buckshot will work very, very well, extremely efficient for the intended purposes. Now, you also have Birdshot and you have slugs, and you may have heard about people recommending Birdshot. And why would anyone do that? Well, the thing is this: it depends on where is it that you're intending to use such shotgun and what kind of situation you are in. For example, I'm in my living room right now, and this is basically what it looks like. So it's a house that's indoor ranges would be like 4 or 5 meters maybe tops. So I'm not looking at having long ranges of indoor potential home invader situations, right? So why would I ever consider using anything other than Buckshot? Well, simply because of this. Buckshot does have the ability to penetrate quite a lot, especially if you're looking at a small apartment and you have very thin, dry walls. This may be a concern, especially, and certainly slugs will over-penetrate without a doubt. If you have, in that same house, you have small kids, it's even more of a concern. Then there's ricochet, there's a possibility of these bouncing against walls and injuring people you're not intending to. You have maybe neighbors nearby, and that's a concern as well. Well, maybe not all, but a lot of that can be avoided using Birdshot instead. Now, the thing with Birdshot is that it's not nearly as effective at longer ranges, and here you definitely have to try out with your specific weapon. This shotgun, Mossberg 500 with an 18-inch barrel at 10 yards will not be effective with Birdshot. It just spreads too much, does not concentrate enough so as to have a good result. Now, you may have seen in a website, it's called the Box of Truth, where they shoot different materials with different rounds. And one of the things that they concluded is that Birdshot is only good for little birds and nothing else because it just lacks enough penetration. Now, the thing is this: Birdshot is for little birds at 30 yards away. If you're going to be shooting someone at 2-3 yards with any kind of 12 gauge round, you're going to be making a big mess. So even though it does not penetrate as much as buckshot or slugs, and it's not as well suited in those kind of situations, in very close quarters, in an apartment or a house where you have very thin walls, you know, and that's a concern. You will be reducing over penetration quite a bit with this. At the same time, this is the thickest birdshot around, at least around here. This is the box, so it's BB, and these are used for fox and rabbit hunting. So it's, you know, not the thinnest, it's the thickest around. At these kind of ranges, it will get the job done. It's not going to be penetrating again as double-aught buck, but the kind of wound you will get from this at such ranges, at 3-4 yards, it's quite significant. I mean, it is a stopper. It's not going to be something that someone just brushes away. There are cases of people shot in the face with birdshot in home defense situations, and they're still standing there very much alive. That same person shot with double-aught or a slug would be definitely dead. Again, ranges depend. The range makes all the difference in the world when it comes to this, when it comes to birdshot and even buckshot as well. But most of all with birdshot, the difference between a huge hole, 3-4 yards, going to be seeing a huge, massive bleeding hole, maybe not penetrating a lot, but it's going to be a stopper with the round placed in the right spot. Now, these two would be the ones then that you're mostly going to be looking at. If you're talking about a small apartment, very thin walls, concern of ricochet over penetration, go for something like this. If you're looking for the biggest, thickest birdshot BBs that you can find, right? That's one of the things going to be stopping that possibility. If you're looking at a house, medium size, larger house, and especially if you're considering the possibility of having to move outdoors and using your shotgun in longer ranges, buckshot, double-aught buckshot is definitely the way you should be going. And if you're looking at maybe a homestead even more isolated and you envision the possibility of needing to do some longer shots, the slug will extend the usefulness of your shotgun, especially with good sights like those, at 100 yards easily. I mean, it's perfectly doable. So 50 yards, 100 yards, I mean, we're talking about ranges way beyond anything you're going to be looking at in terms of home defense. The shotgun with slugs will get the job done. One little piece of advice is look for these. The thing with slugs, Brenek, like these, is that they penetrate like crazy. They're going to be punching a big nasty hole into whatever you hit and keep on going. Again, if you're concerned about over penetration, maybe consider something like these. These are made in, I think it's Latvia. They're available here in Europe. Hexolid 32. There's a guy that shoots this in YouTube, blowing up a water metal as if it had a charge of explosive inside. And what it does is, it just does this. I mean, it expands, breaks into 6 large chunks of steel and makes a big mess out of whatever it is that you hit. A way of avoiding over penetration and being extremely effective against whatever it is. It's unfortunate enough to get hit by this thing. Folks, it's gonna be all for now. Remember to subscribe, thumbs up if you liked the video. Take care, see you on our next video.